Hear ye, brave souls and curious onlookers. Gather round as the fires of fate crackle and the drums of destiny thunder across the Iron Realm. Welcome to episode 46 of our ever-unfolding saga, an odyssey forged in courage, betrayal, and choices that could topple kingdoms. It all began with a single spark in episode 1, and now that ember has become an inferno. If you've only just arrived, O wandering soul, fret not. You've stumbled into the eye of the storm. Aye, but the entire journey is preserved. Every sword clash, whispered secret, and divine reckoning awaiting for you to binge with abandon. Each Wednesday night, our fellowship gathers at the sacred table, where imagination reigns and dice defy gravity. From there, the tale is cast into the production dungeon, where tireless trolls shape it with hammer and flame. And come Sunday, it rises anew, polished and radiant, unleashed upon the world via YouTube for all to witness. But lo, our reach stretches further still. We've sown breadcrumbs across the digital wilds. Facebook, Instagram, the Iron Realm Wiki, even the enchanted scrolls of Pinterest. Follow us, stalk us, meme us. We revel in it all. And now, before we descend into the abyss of tonight's tale, let us first honor the champions who will shape fate itself. When I call your name, rise from the shadows. Speak your first name, your character's name, their race, class, and level. Let the crowd know who dares challenge the Iron Realm tonight. First up is Bradley.
Hello, my name is Bradley, and I'll be playing the character tonight of Kingfisher Blue, a level 6 Er'fro'ren monk, way of the open hand, whose intelligence baffles all who hear him.
Next up, we have Ria.
Hello, I am Ria. I play Romende. She is a level 5 elven rogue, and she's just happy to be here at this point.
Next up, we have Allison.
Hello, I'm Allison. I play Theo and Kat. They are a Kalastar and Cat duo, rogue level 6.
And then we have Matt.
Hey guys, I am Matt. I play Tolnar. He's a half-elf rogue thief, level 7.
Then we have Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I play Erin Stonefeld. She's a 5th level elf paladin, and she stands in the gap for the innocent.
Last but not least, we have John.
Hello, I'm John. I play Zechariah, a human paladin of the 6th level, following and devoted to the Alpha Bog. Alphazah!
Alphazah. And David, who plays Q, our Lightfoot halfling cleric, a life domain cleric of the 7th level, could not be with us tonight, but we hope that he is doing well, and we will see him next week. And as for me, I am your humble dungeon master, your narrator, your tormentor, your guide through chaos and wonder. Steel your hearts, ready your spells, and let the story unfold. A recap of last week's episode 45. Just titled, Just Another Regular Iron Realm Episode, where the Holy Paladin creates an undead altar mimic companion. Combat opens with a divine bang. Zechariah smites the altar mimic with a glorious natural 20, only to immediately follow up with a natural 1 that shatters his mighty Spirit Walker's flail. Zechariah switches to the rarely seen Black Ice Spear, a weapon of frozen abyssal elegance, and with a heavenly assist from Q's blessing, strikes down the mimic, which then rises as his undead companion. Yes, that actually did happen. Meanwhile, one of the bench mimics tries to bite Q and ends up gnawing on itself. How awkward. Lominde skewers another with Psychic Blade Finesse, while Talnar arrives and promptly explodes the last one with a single hit. Kingfisher Blue finishes off the Yanti, collects its tongue for future snacking, and gifts Relpek some calming gummies and a snazzy robe. The team reveals telescope parts retrieved from Talnar's bag of holding. But the central orb, a carved depiction of the planet Aliugraha, I will get it eventually. Greha. Ooh, I'll get it. Is still missing. Rupek, devastated and determined, begs the group to help complete the device before doom descends. In a spark of surprise, electricity dances from Relpek's fingertips as he pockets Kingfisher's darts, one of which begins to spin ominously. Join us for episode 46, as the party searches for the final piece of Relpek's telescope, and perhaps the last missing puzzle piece of their epic quest beneath Er'fro'ren. Episode 46 begins now. Good evening, fellow warriors.
Howdy.
Hello.
Oh, everyone chime in.
Hello.
There we go.
Howdy.
Huzzah!
Good to see everybody tonight. Boy, that was a mouthful. But glad to see everybody here again. We are sorry that David could not be with us tonight, but we are going to adventure on through the Iron Realm and Er'fro'ren and see if we can find Relpek's lost globe and perhaps some other things. My understanding from the group is that because of all the fighting and all of the battles that you have recently gone through, that you would like to take a short rest. Is that still the case?
Yes, please. I want to sleep.
Okay. All right. So that will work. Relpek is eager to go, but he understands that you need to rest and regain your strength, have some food, as well as guard the door and just be ready for whatever may transpire. So you have the opportunity to take that short rest. Remember that a short rest does offer 3 hours of no activity, 3 hours of light activity. And yes, Bradley.
I believe that's a long rest.
Long rest. Did I say short rest? I'm sorry. I knew I was going to mess that up. I've even got the sheet right here in front of me. And I still got it wrong. Long rest is what you guys were planning on doing. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, not a short rest. Okay. I'll eventually get it. I guess my energy level is high. I'm really excited for tonight's game. So I'm stumbling all over myself, and I need to calm down just a little bit. I have been looking forward to playing with you guys for a week now. So that being said, who is going to take the first watch of the night?
I'll say Talnar can, or
I believe Miss Stonefell volunteered for the first watch.
Can do that.
So you, because of the amount of folks that are here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6. You have 6. You have the opportunity of doing 1 hour a piece, and then resting, doing whatever you need to do. So Aaron wants to take first watch. That's great. Who will take second watch?
I'll say Talnar will.
Okay. Who will take third watch? Okay. Okay.
Kingfisher Blue will take the third watch.
3. And who will take 4th? There's only 3 of you left, so someone has to take it.
Yeah, Theo and Kat will.
Okay, Theo and Kat.
Everybody
pitch in. You're all part of the party.
I was going to take the last watch.
Okay, so Loman Day, you'll take.
I'm sorry. Does that like affect like how much health we get back over the rest? Because I am like at almost half.
Okay.
No, yeah, you'll get everything back.
Okay, then yeah,
You'll get
I'll take 5th.
This is
Okay.
basically you're taking 3 hours to sleep, and then a little bit of time to read through books or to prepare a light meal, and then your shift. And your shift, unless something happens, unless something happens where the DM throws something at you, and even then you will be back to your full health, full strength. You'll be fine. So
Okay.
it's just
And-
it's just taking an hour where you're watching and making sure that everybody is protected during the course of the night, but that does include you resting as part of that. So
And then Lemon Day, do you know that on D&D Beyond, there's a little button up there. You can it'll automatically do it for you. You click long rest and then confirm it. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. And I'll reset everything for you automatically.
So get off of that screen so I have screen up. Come on. Go on. Okay. All right. So your mimic is still with you, even though it's dead. It is a zombie mimic at this point. It is controlled by Zechariah. And my understanding is that you also have another you for that's been brought out of Kingfisher's bag, a bowling ball bag, and is assigned to Q, correct? Okay.
That is correct.
Okay. So that being said, each of you takes a separate area to yourself throughout the room. And Aaron Stormfell, you are at the entrance of the basilica. Everybody else is bedding down for the night, or they are staying awake and reading for a while, depending on when they know that their shift is going to happen. So when your shift happens, you should be awake during that period of time and prior to it. Okay. So sleep for a little while, wake up, do your food or whatever, read, and then do your shift, go back to sleep, that sort of thing. Okay. Those of you who are resting and relaxing for a while, the overall effects of everything that's been happening, and it is taking its toll on you. Those of you who have woken up after 3 years of being asleep have a very restless sleep, because you've been asleep for a long period of time. You really don't need that much other than to regain your strength and to be able to heal the wounds and bring back your spell points, key points, that sort of thing. Those of you who are brand new to the to what's been going on, including Aaron Stormfell and Loman Day, you rest, but again, sleep kind of comes in spurts, because you're still working off of those endorphins of having been just in a battle, and a major battle at that, with a creature that you've never seen before, that you've never I mean, in all likelihood, you heard of it in horror stories or parents' tales of "don't do this" or the Medusa's going to get you, and so rest is not as fulfilling as you would like it to be. It's not a deep sleep, but that being said, you still rest. During the course of the night, nothing much goes on. Relpeck gets up in the middle of the night and paces back and forth. He paces over in the direction of Aaron Stormfell, just to strike up to strike up a conversation with her because she's guarding the door. And of course, to do that, I don't know why it's not letting me move anybody else around. Let me get you over with Q, since he'll probably be sleeping within the within the wool of the sheep. So Relpeck comes up to you, Aaron, and he's kind of looking around and still kind of jumpy, and says, "Thank you again for rescuing me. I do appreciate it. I hope that you are able to get some rest when it's your turn. It's not every day that we see paladins of any kind in where we are. This is new to me, and I would love to hear more about your background. I know the other paladin is asleep and the others are asleep. If you want to whisper, you can, but I'd like to know a little bit more of your background, because I can't sleep, and maybe this will help calm me down a little bit, and I will be able to rest a while."
First, Relpeck, is there any healing or anything that I can do for you to make you feel better?
Well,
or do you just want to hear a story right now?
I would love to hear a story, and in turn, maybe I can do a good deed for you, in a way of appreciation for your help.
I would love that. So get comfortable, and I will tell you a little bit about my family and how I found myself to be here. So the Stonefell family, they held the keys to the walled kingdom of the Northlands for over a century before the last skyfall. You may not be aware, because the scrolls are hidden up in the Northlands, but I believe that the thing that you have seen in the sky is something that happens on a regular basis throughout the history of this world. And we call it Skyfall, where I come from. And now that I am of age, where I come from, I am supposed to be the holder of the keys and the defender of my people. And but I have to prove myself. And so I was locked out of the kingdom of the Northlands. And as I was traveling southward, I saw sparks in the sky. And the next thing, I walked through this portal and found myself here, in this monastery, amongst these people, and I had never met this group that I am now very much akin with. We have battled together already, and I feel a close affinity with this group. But my heart longs for the snow and the frost of the Northlands, and hopefully one day I will be able to show it to you, Relpec. And maybe you could read the scrolls that we have of the last Skyfall, and it would help you with what you are seeing through your telescope. And perhaps we can help you put your telescope back together.
It's interesting that you say that. Skyfall. It's a very interesting phrase, a very interesting turn of phrase. I've heard that phrase before.
It's where my family got their name. One of the large boulders from the sky fell through a large glacier and melted a hole the size of a keep. And it's a large stone, and a big chunk of it is put into the crown of the king and the queen of the Northland. And it's called, our family's called Stone Fell. And because the stone fell from the sky. And that's where my family's name comes from.
He starts to get giddy when he hears you talking. And about the time that you were finishing your conversation with him, it's time for the second person to start their shift. So Talnar, who is Talnar, your shift begins. Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry, I was being talked to.
It's fine. So you're as Aaron, Stormfell, and Relpec are talking. They finish their conversation about the time that your shift begins in watching everybody. Relpec grabs Aaron's arm and says, "There is a room here in the keep that has books upon books upon books. I'm almost positive that I know that there is a book that you need to read." And he grabs your arm and almost pulls it out of its socket, the socket, trying to grab you to take you towards the library. So with that,
That's cool.
I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm using the wrong thing. So let's do this. I'm gonna make it very quick and hopefully painless for both of our character tokens. Well, maybe if it'll let me do it. There we go. Okay. So, not one to split the party, but he grabs you and whisks you through. You see the body of the Medusa still laying on the floor. If I can get it over there. And he brings you, come on, there you go, into the library. And he goes over to a set of shelves that you are actually familiar with because it's the same set of shelves that has had the 6 books of the Paladin sitting on the shelf. And he starts to look and he says, "There's some books missing." And he looks back at you and he says, "Have you already been here?"
Our company did pass through. Zachariah The other paladin, he has several of the books from this shelf.
Okay.
Is the one you're looking for with him?
No. And he starts to physically grab the books that were next to where the paladin books were. And he starts pulling them off and pulling them off and pulling them off. And there is a pamphlet and a larger book that are behind the rest of the books on that shelf. And he takes them out, and this pamphlet, the little parchment pamphlet, no bigger than the size of a 3x5 card. And it and the book are together, and they are wrapped in twine and with a huge bow on it. And he takes it and he's holding it in both of his hands in front of you. And he's kind of hopping from one foot to another. And he says, nobody found this. He says, I had this on me when I was brought here. And I hid it as soon as I could, because I knew that if they found it, they would take it away from me and either destroy it or use it for their own nefarious ways. And
what is it?
He takes the book out. He takes the twine off, and the twine hits the floor and just kind of falls to dust for whatever reason. But he opens up the pamphlet and he points to a drawing which looks like the drawing that that y'all have seen of the stars in their alignment and the crossing of the meteor or comet towards the planet, and then going its separate way. And he looks at that, and then he flips a couple of pages, and there's more writing, and it talks about exactly what you've been talking about. And he says, that is a clear, you have just, he's almost at a loss for words. He's so excited. He says, you have vindicated everything that I have been saying all along, that this has happened and is going to happen again.
Oh,
That this particular meteor or comet that's coming is the sister of the one that landed in your homeland. And
wow.
he flips that book over, and then, or the pamphlet over, and hands that to you, and then opens up the book, and there is all sorts of writing. And he says, I've only been able to decipher a certain amount of this, but I think you may be able to read this. And it's in your family's handwriting, which is a special code. And it talks about your family and your kingdom from the very beginning of its path, from the stone that fell to the prediction of the second. So that information he hands to you, and he says, I am so thankful I found someone who can corroborate, who can help me with this. And he's giddy, and he says, we have to tell the others. We have to tell the others. And so he grabs your arm again and he pulls you out. And you're trying everything that you can do to be able to keep standing up, because this guy is just giddy. And he's like, I hope that we can continue to talk, and you will be able to translate what's in the book, because I really want to know. But I've only been able to read so much before I had to hide it, and I have not been able to look at it. And it's been over 3 years since I've been able to even look at this book, because I've been in captivity that long. And so I hope that we can, at least at some point in the near future, talk more about this book.
Absolutely.
And takes you back up to the basilica. Let me get us back over to that so the audience can see. And whoa, maybe not. Come on. Ooh.
That was exciting. Well, thank you, Roltec.
He
Thank you so much.
because he's shorter than you, he kind of does this with his finger, where he's trying to get you to lean down towards him. It's kind of difficult to lean over, especially when you're wearing armor. But he says, thank you, in a whisper, and he kind of goes over to the other side of the room, and he sits down with a clear smile on his face, and then he's asleep. I mean, just instantaneously asleep. And he goes, and he's out. Get Mike. Still trying to get used to roll 20 and being able to move things around with the right icon. So, Talnar, you see Aaron come back into the room with Relpec. Relpec's got a huge smile on his face, and you see him motion to her to lean over a little bit. You hear him just kind of whisper, thank you, and then he goes over to the other side of the room, and you see him kind of curl up in a ball on the floor, and almost instantaneously he's asleep. So
Tonar will walk over to the one of the many different benches, sits down, takes out a dagger, and just slowly starts whittling on the bench a little bit. Look up, doesn't say nothing, doesn't give any inclination of what just happened, and just starts whittling a little bit while paying attention to the surroundings and trying to listen and hear if anything's moving, at least coming this way if he can tell.
roll a perception check.
Uh-oh. That's a 22.
22.
Mm-hmm.
The bench that you're whittling on, the wood actually, comes up easily, and as you do so, you see the bench next to it move 2 inches away from you.
Wait, which one? The one on the right or the left?
The one that, well, I'm assuming, are you sitting in the middle, on the middle bench, or the bench furthest back, or the bench furthest forward?
My plan was to sit in the middle bench, but I can't do that because of how the squares are made.
Yeah, I mean, they are kind of close together, but they're big enough that you can sit on one of the benches. It just depends on which one you're sitting on.
So Tarner sits there and goes, "If you stay there, you'll be fine. Do not think about it." And he just continues doing what he's doing.
Okay. The bench kind of moves a little bit further away. You can actually see the legs kind of inch further away. You see a kind of a tongue kind of lap out and lick the floor and then go back in, and then it doesn't move again.
And he looks over in the corner of his eye, just nods, and that's it.
All right. So Aaron and Talnar, you finished your turn. Not your turn, but your duties. Who is next? Okay, Kingfisher. It is time for you to awaken or to stir and to do your 1 hour what do you want to do during that period of time? Just walk around.
Well, since Relpek is asleep, that was my first inclination, was to swap stories and science with him, but he's sleeping, so I will go to the doorway, and as I'm switching out with Tolnar, does he mention the moving bench?
Tolnar gets up, walks back where he was originally sitting at, and when he walks by the bench that moved, he puts his knife away, but reaches down and just pats slightly on the bench, but he's trying to make it look like he's actually just tapping his fingers. Can I do a sleight of hand?
You can certainly try. Why don't you roll and find out?
If that... Well, that will be a 26.
26. You're doing a sleight of hand to do what?
To make it look like I'm just tapping my fingers, but I'm really patting on the mimic. As in, like, what you would do with a dog saying, good boy or good girl, but I make it look like it's just my fingertips.
Okay. Yeah, you're definitely able to do that.
And before Tolnar sits down, he looks over at Kingfisher, goes, "An eventful watch."
Good.
Question or a statement?
That was his statement.
Okay. So you're saying that it was an uneventful watch for you.
Yep.
Okay. Kingfisher, is there anything else that you want to do other than just kind of move it?
No, my good friend Tolnar the Rogue has told me it was an uneventful watch, and therefore I will step out to the entrance, and I will sit in a meditative pose and watch for any impending doom while reading a book on monastic traditions in the Iron Realm.
Roll perception check.
All right. My perception check. $24. Natural 20, by the way.
During your meditative state while you're reading and listening and watching, you can hear various noises throughout the monastery on levels above. You can hear movement, not anything like running or that sort of thing, or noises or voices, but you can hear shuffling of feet in various areas. You can't pinpoint where exactly it is, but you definitely know there is more here than just you haven't wiped out everything within this complex. It is not completely empty by any means. That's basically set. Okay.
Every day they're shuffling. Got you. Right.
Great song. It doesn't cause you any sort of fear or trepidation because you know that you can handle it. The rest of the group, that they can handle themselves well. But you also get the sense that wherever you go, whatever you do, you will encounter something else or some things in the rest of your journeys. So that whether that gives you a good
I'll make note of the different sounds and shuffles that I hear. Yeah.
Okay. So your
it just means a more experience for us.
your shift ends, and who is after Kingfisher?
I think that's me.
Yo,
Yes, I will. I will wake up Cat and with a scratch behind the ear, and say, "It is your turn, dear Cat. Please know that there are definitely more creatures to be felled in this monastery. But Tolnar reported nothing unusual, and I am going to return to my spot next to the altar, the living altar, and continue my rest. So have a
And
good
then
watch."
Theo pipes up with, "So you're gonna wake up the sleeping human by scratching her on the ear?"
it's
Yes.
always a bit of confusion.
You,
Go ahead.
the the yes
I am human. We've known each other for years.
yes, I will scratch Theo behind the ear. I meant to say.
Nah, don't patronize me. It's weird now.
Anyway, the one in cat form,
That's
I
what he
will
meant.
just gently wake it up, and
So,
because I know that's the human. That's what I was trying to say. I was waking up the human conscious in the cat body. Yes.
She makes that kind of noise before walking over to where Tolnar sat. The human's still asleep wherever we were. The cat is going to sit on the bench and just starts kneading her claws into the wood.
as you do so, obviously you can roll a perception check, I should say.
Alright. 12.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
There is noticeable creatures. You can smell them. You can hear them. They are not within the vicinity. In fact, the smell that you are smelling right now is actually the just the beginnings of the decay of the creatures on this level. But you can hear shuffling in various areas. Nothing distinct because it's too far away. But you can tell that there is other beings within the complex. As you're digging into the bench that is are you digging into the bench that you're sitting on, or the next one over that Tolnar was digging into?
I'm kneading my claws into the one that Tolnar was digging into.
Okay. As you do so, you actually see the next bench over start to move just a little bit. The legs actually start to move, and you can see the dust that's on the floor move just a little bit.
She just looks over, just like, nah, who's a scaredy cat? And then just goes back to doing her thing.
The you notice that the bench, the wood top of the bench splits down the very middle on the side. It's almost like 2x4s that are put together, but the 2x4 splits, and you can see teeth within the wood, and a tongue kind of laps out and hits the floor and kind of does a back and forth, mimicking your tail that's moving back and forth. And then the tongue goes back into the bench.
Temptation is setting. I could use that tongue. Yeah. She's just kind of having an inner fight with herself. Trying to figure out what to do in this situation. Because it's weirding her out now.
Do I? Don't I? Do I? What you gonna do?
Exactly.
Tick tock, 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 tick tock. You gotta make up your mind.
I'm gonna go after that tongue.
You are gonna go after the tongue? Okay.
Yep.
Try for it.
What do I roll for it?
Well, you gotta roll the hit first. And what are you using? Are you using your claws to hit it?
Yeah. Do I have to go to a Tabaxi's page to roll that?
No, just roll a 20-sided die.
Okay. 11.
11. You swipe at the tongue. Of course, I did. Of course, I closed the page. I did keep that. And your claw just misses the tongue. I mean, like as it's going by, your hand just sweeps right, or your paw just sweeps right underneath it and misses it.
Shoot!
Everyone roll for initiative.
Sorry!
And Tolnar tried not to even have it to be interrupted.
Sorry!
Just waking up from
She needs the tongue!
We at least get a short rest.
No,
Some of it get a short rest. Matter of fact, I don't think Theo and Kat really needed to do anything. They could have been awake this whole time and let everyone rest.
Luminde just kind of shoots a look at Theo and Kat from the corner of her eye.
Kat just woke up. You were alone.
Kat just woke up and decided to immediately cause problems. No, I will not.
Okay. What's everyone got?
Kat is in the CAT.
Okay. Lominde, what's your
21.
okay? Kingfisher?
20.
Zechariah?
14.
Tolnar?
13.
Theo and Kat?
4.
Well, what was it?
4.
And Aaron?
4.
Got it. I got it.
13.
13. You and Tolnar need to look at your decks.
I have a +3.
What's your
I
dexterity?
didn't hear what you said.
He has
What's your dex?
a +3 to his dexterity. You need to check your dexterity and see what you have, if you have a plus or minus. You should have a plus. Under dex.
Nothing. Oh, that's it, honey.
What was your dex?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
0.
So you're a 10. Okay.
It's just 10.
So Talnar would go first, and then you would go second. All right. Okay. So that being said, let's see, Loman Day, you go first.
All right. I'll pull up Roll20 really quick so I can. Goodness. Where is the enemy? Is it right in front of Theo and Kat?
For whatever reason,
Okay. I'm gonna-
boost for you. See if I can get an
It's
aura.
not a regular game unless we have technical difficulties.
Having technical difficulties. That help? No, not doing it on yours. Okay, so Loman Day,
Yeah.
it's up to you. What you got?
25 to hit.
Yeah, 25 definitely hits. AC 12.
Okay, that's 9 base damage. And 11 sneak attack. And bonus action 15 to hit. With 4 damage. And that's my turn.
On. All right, so let's see. Sorry about that. Sneeze. That brings up Kingfisher.
All right, so I have a question.
Yes.
Does the hour or the 2 hours that I already slept since I had third watch, does that count as a short rest?
Yes. Essentially, you're all going to continue with that. You're going to continue with the long rest. This
All right,
is
but I need a short rest for now. So I'm going to go ahead and click the short rest button. All right. Which will restore my key points, which is what I was trying to do in the first place, because it makes me far more effective than otherwise it would be. All right. Make sure that has happened on my. All right. So yes, I will be spending 1 key point to enact my flurry of blows, or my fury of blows, or whatever it is. Flurry, yes, flurry of blows with chocolate chip cookies. I will attack the mimic with my flurry of blows. First of 4 attacks is a 12 to hit.
Just hits.
Right. And that does 11 points of damage. And using the Way of Open Hand technique, I can impose one of the following effects. It needs to make a dex saving throw, DC 15, or get knocked prone.
Okay. Right. Rolls a 17.
All right. Second attack. He'll be doing a lot of this. The 26 to hit.
Definitely hits.
Yes.
Yes.
And that does 8 points of damage. And again, he needs to make DC 15 saving throw or be knocked prone.
Rolls a 16.
All right. 2 more to avoid. All right. 24 hits. And he takes 11 points of damage. And again, saving throw.
$17.
All right. And my last attack. 21 to hit.
Only hits.
9 points of damage. And one last knock prone saving throw, dex 15.
And with the 9 points, you kill him. He becomes a split.
Oh, but did I knock him prone? Is what I want to know.
You really did knock him prone. He's
Alphazar.
So yes.
Alphazar. All right, one dead bench. What up, benches?
So we need to take a short break. We're going to do a commercial break for a couple of minutes. 6 years running, Grain Soak Ale reigns supreme in the kingdom of Ithaca. Crafted by the Grain Soak brothers in small batches, originally served only in the Dusty Kettle Tavern in Ballistavia, now served across the realms. A wine is just a wine, but an ale is a brew. Grain Soak Ale now served across Ithacoth and Asterag, not sold in Aphomet. Drink responsibly, not suitable for halflings, gnomes, or fairies. And we're back from commercial, and well done, adventurers, in getting rid of this little creature that was bothering y'all. So,
Welcome. You're welcome.
so, Relpek actually slept through the entire thing. You can tell that he is content knowing that he is among friends and that he is safe, and no matter what happens, he's not going to have to defend himself or be bullied or beat upon or anything else by anyone, because he is with you guys. So that being said, you can go back into your long rest. Yes, Matt.
Who says he doesn't have to help and fight?
Right now he is sleeping. Sleep because he's been a prisoner.
Do I notice that he has moved, or because I would have placed myself and the mimic close to him? So did he move, or is that where he had always been?
No, he actually was awake when you went to sleep, and went because you would have gone to sleep first,
Right.
for the first 3 hours, and that's when he was having his interaction with Aaron.
Okay.
So you waking up, I mean, obviously you would see him on the other side of the room. When you wake up because of this mimic that's suddenly
Right.
amongst you, I mean, your first thought would be to protect him, but also destroy the mimic. And seeing
Sure.
Relpek sleeping through this entire thing, you know that he's out. He's not going to, nothing's going to happen to him because you guys are taking care of it. It only took 2 of you to do it. So,
Right.
I have a question.
yes,
How tall is Rolpack again?
Relpek is not tall at all.
Yes, but how tall?
He is probably about 5'1".
5 foot?
5'1". Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're human. You're probably, and you're a paladin. You're probably
I'm an elf.
Oh, you're an elf. Yeah, you are
5'5".
probably hitting 6 foot
Of course.
higher. Elves
Yeah.
are.
So
No,
that brings up a good
I'm
point.
a short, stocky elf from the north. He's 4 inches shorter than me. Okay, that makes sense. I was just wondering, since I was a short person, why he was having to look up to me.
He is much shorter.
Okay.
He towers over Q, because Q is a halfling, but halflings are not. Or I mean, they look like children. They're the size of children. But yeah, he's 5'1" at the most.
But he is a human.
Yes, he is a human.
Okay. All right.
So, okay.
I'll as I go back to sleep, I'll reposition myself to be closer to him.
Okay.
And I'll put the mimic on the other side of me.
Don't put the mimic next to him. That would not be a good idea.
Not to him. I said on the other side of me.
No, I
Yeah,
know.
I understand the mimic. Yeah, I kind of like pat the wall or whatever and point.
Okay. So, Talnar and Aaron Stormfell and Theo have all done their time, as well as Kingfisher Blue. So we now have Loman Day to go through your hour, and then the last up would be Zechariah. So Loman Day, Theo and Kat, you can do your rest, and what am I trying to think of? Do your light activity now. And Loman Day, you're set at the door. You should be able to move over to the door whenever you want to. And so, Aaron Stormfell, I take it that you're taking up position on the other side of Relpek to protect him.
I have a special interest in protecting Rolpack right now. He's my little buddy.
So, and obviously the conversation that you've had with Relpek and going to the library during your time, that it's completely up to you whether you divulge that information to the rest of the group or not. That's completely within your wellhouse to keep that to yourself.
The only one that knows that I left would be Tomar, right?
That's correct. Yes.
So it's up to him if he tells.
Well, that you left, not what your conversation.
That he tells. And
so
I
all he knows is you left with Relpek, and you came back and had a big smile on his face, and he went right to sleep. So
that's all I know.
Yeah.
It could be taken in so many.
It could be taken so many ways.
We'll just assume that the two of you were talking was it. So, Lominde, while you are
We were praying.
you're praying. Nothing happens while you, Lominde, are guarding the door. Roll perception check.
Nat 20, so a 23.
Nat 20 plus 3. Okay. So you two can hear that there are noises throughout the complex, shuffling of feet, that sort of thing. There's doesn't appear to be any voices per se. Nobody yelling, screaming, hissing, anything like that. No whispered phrases on the wind, kind of like what you guys were hearing before from the Medusa when she was still alive. So count yourself lucky that during your particular hour of time watching over everybody else that really nothing else happened. Once you are finished with your time, you can wake up Zechariah for his period of guarding the door.
Okay, yes. So she's just going to walk over to him and kind of nudge him lightly with her foot. And so, I mean, she's probably I think 6'5" is what I have her listed at, because she doesn't really feel like bending over. So she's nudging him with her foot until he gets up, and then she just shoots her head towards the door, signaling that it's time for him to start. And would it be okay if she takes up position right next to him, just so he has two people right beside him?
Setting up while Zechariah is at the door guarding the door, you mean to take up where he was sitting next to Relpek?
Yes.
Okay. Zechariah, is that all right with you?
Well, of course. And the mimic's going to stay right where the mimic's staying at.
Okay. So, Lominde, you have a mimic on one side and Relpek on the other. And the mimic doesn't really do much of anything. I mean, it'll shuffle around just a little bit, like twitching, kind of, but nothing otherwise. It's not breathing. It's not.
It doesn't need to sleep. It's undead.
She's had worse company. She's had worse company, so she's just kind of like, whatever.
Kind of like the half dead people from was it Werewolf? Was it Werewolf in London? That come back to talk with him about him killing them. It's a dead zombie sitting next to you that just shuffles around when Zechariah has to move. So Zechariah, standing at the door, roll a perception check.
A 6.
A 6.
I seem to be distracted.
Yeah. You really can't tell anything that's going on throughout the complex. It's just kind of like white noise. You can actually hear the dripping of the stalagmites, stalactites. Stalactites come down and stalagmites go.
Correct. Yeah, tights. Yeah, because they're holding on tightly to the ceiling. Right.
Dripping occasionally, and you can hear the bubbling of the lava from the pools within the Medusa's chamber. But otherwise, you can't hear anything else. Your hour comes to an end uneventfully, and everyone is starting to stir and waking up and starting to gather their blankets and their not pillows, but clothing and bags and stuff, and getting ready to.
Right before everyone wakes up, by the way, or as I'm on my watch, I observe the room looking at everyone, including Relpec, but everybody in the group, and I whisper a silent prayer to the Alpha Bog that I have the strength to protect this group and to protect Relpec from any danger. And I call upon the strength of the Alpha Bog to fill me as I feel like that we're heading to the answers that we seek, or the end of this quest.
Okay. So, do you currently have inspiration?
No, I do not.
So, if you want to say a prayer out loud over the group, just like you've said.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll be vocal about it. Yeah.
I
was trying to respect everyone's still trying to be asleep. I mean, I won't use a booming voice.
Of course not. Of course not. It could be, it could be at a whisper, but by doing so,
sure.
If you do that for us now, you will receive inspiration for that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Nice. Okay. Well, then I will do that.
Okay.
I will do as I've said I was going to do.
Okay. Go for it.
Just with a little bit of volume.
Just a little bit of volume.
Awesome. Oh, you want me to?
Yeah.
No, you want me to do it?
Yes. That's a
Alpha Bog.
It's like the
Alpha Bog. I got you. Alpha. That's right. So I kind of hold my hands out, kind of spread my hands out, spread my fingers out as I kind of again, look at everyone, whether they're asleep or whatnot, and I say, Alpha Bog, please give me the strength, your strength, as I continue to try and not just simply protect this group, but to assist this group in destroying the evil or any of the machinations of evil that would be trying to stop Relpec, destroy Relpec, or destroy this group from being able to accomplish the things that we have, by I feel your will, have brought us together to do. And I say this plea to you in your name, in the Alpha Bog's name. Amen.
Alpha Man.
Well said.
And then I give it a healthy Alpha Za.
Yeah,
Alpha Man, Alpha
that wakes everybody up.
I wasn't yelling it.
No, I'm kidding. No, you just they're the echo of Alpha Za throughout the entire complex. You can feel the building shake. Hear the moans of the various zombies and other things up above. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, inspiration to you for that. And of course, anytime that one of our players does something like that, or does something inspirational for another member, or for the game itself, receiving inspiration to be able to use at a later time, that's always a plus. So be prepared for that. So everyone starts to stir and to wake up and to begin the journey out of this place, or at least to try and find the other piece of Relpec's telescope, which, again, as we remember, is the globe of the world that the Iron Realm is part of. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
As a quick side note, did you see the chat in
I can't see the chat from
Discord? Theo Theo wanted to cut out the mimic's tongue.
Okay. You can certainly do that. There is, and just a reminder, from your screen, you can actually raise a hand if you need to. I can't see chat while we're playing the game because of doing two screens at once. Okay. So you may have
I will assist Theo and Kat with the cutting out of the tongue by using my talon along with their claws. So
that's if Theo and Kat need help with it. So
yeah, I think we could both into the tongue things.
Do you need assistance, Theo and Kat?
No.
Alrighty then.
Just 1 second. I'm trying to figure out why I can't get to my.
When they're done with the tongue, I'll loot the mimic.
I don't have the ability to look at chat. Yes, Matt.
And when everyone's done slicing and dicing the mimic, Tonar will go over and go, I tried, man. I tried. And just follows with the rest of them when no one else is around.
So Theo and Kat, in cutting the tongue of the mimic, comes out easily enough. It is a good 6.5 inches in length and probably about 2 to 3 inches wide. So it's a good sized piece of meat, so to speak, that you can keep with you. And
I never even got a how do you want to do this? I long for those moments, and everyone else gets them, and I didn't get one. But all right. And so when she finishes cutting out the tongue, which I do not assist with, I will loot the remaining parts of the mimic to see if it had anything interesting on it.
If you'll roll a 12-sided die.
All right. I have one of those. Right here. Yes. Ocho, 8.
You managed to get the I guess what you could consider a mouth, which looks like, 2x4 that has been split down the middle and has teeth, and the remaining stub of the tongue, kind of sitting there. Opening it up enough, you can see that there is a small bag inside. The bag itself has a set of thieves' tools inside.
I will pass those along to Lomende.
Don't I already have those? Like, doesn't every rogue just have? I'm pretty sure I have thieves' tools already.
You'll be able to see in your.
Yeah. I'll let him know that I already have some, so that he's free to offer it to anyone else who may need them, because I really don't need a duplicate set. They do the same thing.
Are these any? Yeah, I'll show them to Talnar. It's like, Are these better than the ones you guys have, or just common?
Chris, can I go over and investigate, see either better quality or if it's something that has a better chance of, working better than ones that are standard
Yeah, you
for
can
most?
use an investigation check.
Okay. Investigation. Okay. That's an 8 total.
8. They seem to be common.
They look about the same as what standard. I mean, I can put them in the bag of holding that I have. It's always not a bad idea to have a backup set in case something happens to one of ours.
Lomondé, do you want to look at them too, make sure?
Sure. I need to roll a perception check.
No, investigation.
Oh, my bad. 23.
3. There are 2 or 3 pieces of the set that you could probably use that are better than what you have, but the whole set together, really, it's common. So
is it possible to do like a sleight of hand and replace those 3, and then
roll and find out.
25.
Hey, Chris, can I try to watch her a little closely while she does that?
Roll for perception.
That's 24.
24. Yeah, you can see her switching out the individual pieces with
she rolled a 25, right?
She rolled a 25 to be able to do it, but he's still rolled high enough that he is able to see.
I can see her do it, but not necessarily see the actual parts that she's doing.
I mean, she's going through each individual one, and her sleight of hand, she's able to switch them out. He's just able to see that she's looking at these very, very carefully. So it's not like he can see, oh, well, she switched out on the scalpel, and she switched out on the, on the pick, and she switched out on this and that. He's just able to see that she's really being meticulous about looking at it.
All right. So me not seeing any of this or caring because I was offering them freely to the rogues, I'll take the now unknown to me altered set and hand it to Talnar to put in his bag of holding, and we shall continue.
Okay. So, that being said, Kingfisher is flying off. Well, you're in the middle of a wall.
Oh, ouch!
That's a wall. Unless you can actually move through walls.
No, that was Bronson who did all that there.
He became a wall. Or a permanent fixture. But what was I going to say? So now y'all have the opportunity. Are you going to look through the rest of this floor? If there are any other spots? Or are you going to go back up? You do have one hallway that is off to the going to the left. To the left. I don't know if I can ping that or not. Oh. Ping. There you go. Did you see the ping? Don't know if you saw it. Ping. Ping. Okay.
I'd also like to ask Relpec, does he know like where the group's going right now? Does he know what's down there? Does he know any of the parts of this cavern that we haven't been in? Or I guess really the way that the group's heading, does he know what's down there?
Let's see, this is. Oh. No. For whatever reason, that did not do what I wanted it to do. Why are you all the way over there? Seriously. What just happened? Give me just a minute. I'm trying to figure out why this went all the way over to the other side of it.
Did it break on through?
The other side.
Careful.
I'm not sure what's going on, but it is. Let me try and reload the page.
Night becomes a day.
There we go. Okay. So he says that there is a chapel and a flower room down that hallway.
Flowers, pretty.
So, and
That Theo and Cat are going down.
okay. So there we go. So Kingfisher Blue, you are actually able to see down that corridor that there is a room. Same thing, Theo and Kat, wherever you may be. She left.
Yeah, she's out.
She says she's not feeling well.
Yeah, she said she's not feeling well. She need to leave.
So Kingfisher Blue, you can actually see down the corridor that there is another room. Relpek has said that there is a chapel here.
I heard flowers.
Sorry, what?
I heard flowers. I want to see the flowers.
So you can actually see the chapel. Now, the wall that is to your west, okay, or if you're looking at the fireplace, there's a wall behind you. That wall is actually in the ceiling. Okay, the corridor that you were walking through a little bit earlier is actually above where this chapel is.
So I didn't actually do that then.
Yeah, well, no, you walk down the corridor, walked through a corridor that is above the chapel. The chapel is actually sunk down lower than everything. So, I use
Okay. Oh.
and this corridor right here that goes across, that's above your head. Okay, so you can actually walk straight through.
All right.
And there's actually a door here. That part is a door. It's not a straight wall. So, but Kingfisher Blue, you are currently standing in the middle of a fireplace that is lit. There are several benches that are set in this room. You can smell the smell of you can smell the odor of flowers, both fresh cut flowers as well as decaying flowers, coming from a room straight underneath and straight ahead of you, to the west.
Now on our screen, that's still blackened out. Is that correct?
Yes, and I will.
Okay.
For you, thank you for saying something. I forgot that I hadn't revealed it yet.
And also a point of clarification: wherever Relpet goes is where I go, and the Mimic. So just as a point of clarification, so if you move Relpet, you can move me and the Mimic also if you want.
I'm not moving
You can group us together for right now.
I'm not. I'm not moving Relpec at all. So, and
So he's not going to follow the group.
he's not following me. Oh yeah. Here. All right. Zechariah, you
I
actually
mean, which is fine, but
you have control of Relpec as well. Okay. So if you choose to leave the room, he will automatically follow. So, Kingfisher.
okay, that's fine. That's cool.
When you enter into the area of the flowering plants and the flowers that are in there, there are several plants that are on benches, several that are planted into small pots. There is what appears to be an overturned what am I trying to think of? An overturned set of pots with vines hanging out of it, and there is a statue of a short dwarf in what appears to be his robes, but he is also wearing an apron, and he has a trowel in his hand, and his mouth is open. Around his feet is coiled vines from the overturned potted plants that are next to it. The vines are creeping along the inner wall. And let me.
Alrighty. Seeing the overturned potted plants, I immediately tried to right them, refill them. Basically set up to where the plants will be comfortable and fed again, and try to make them to where they'll, they're not turned over anymore. So I'll do that. I'll right all the turned over plants.
The overturned plant that's on the floor that has its coils wrapped around the legs of the statue starts to move. Come on. Go ahead, clear the drawings. We don't need that anymore, but I do need to move it into position. Of course, it's not going to do what I want it to do. And the coil of vines begins to move along the wall itself. And the tendons start wrapping around the legs further of the statue that stands before you. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
All right.
So, with that being said, thank you very much, adventurers, for everything for tonight. Wonderful to expand upon some much needed information from not only from Ralpec, but a little bit of information on Aaron Stormfell, or Stonefell, excuse me, and getting a little bit of backstory, which was exciting for everybody, I hope. And
yes, it's very helpful.
Having a little bit of battle and maybe some more battle as we start next week episode. So listeners and those that are followers of the Iron Realm, we thank you so much for being with us tonight for episode 46. We hope to have this out, of course, on Sunday, and for your viewing pleasure, and we hope that you enjoy it. Please make sure that you comment and let us know that you're watching. Please tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your brothers, sisters, moms, dads, uncles, aunts, anyone and everyone that that likes Dungeons and Dragons, and even those that don't like Dungeons and Dragons. If that's your first time, that's fantastic. Get into it, enjoy it, because there's the beginning for all of us. And whether you've been in it for 30 plus years, like some of us, or you're brand new,
40 plus years.
or even more than 30 years. Those of you who have just started playing Dungeons and Dragons, we applaud you. We want to hear about what you're doing, what your adventures are. Get involved. There's always room at the table. And we hope to see you again with episode 47 next week. Until then, those of you who are fathers, we wish you a happy Father's Day. Those of you who are stepfathers, happy Father's Day. If you're grandfathers, happy Father's Day. And we hope that you enjoy the holiday weekend. And we will see you again in the Iron Realm. Until then, let's roll.
Shadows stretch long in the iron haze, boots on the stone through a labyrinth maze, whispers of gold in the dragon's breath, every step closer to glory or death. Through the iron realm we march tonight, treasure gleams in the fading light, monsters howl and the darkness creeps, victory calls but the price cuts deep. Burning bold, the weight of fear buried deep in the cold, claws in the dark and fangs that gleam, the nightmare's alive, it's more than a dream. Through the iron realm we march tonight, treasure gleams in the fading light, monsters howl and the darkness creeps, victory calls but the price cuts deep. Flickers faint like a torch,